Do the streets seem noisy to anyone else?
Ah, over there! It's the Weasel King.
Hearken to me, my children! After abandoning our kingdom to its fate, the Vestal then came slinking back to these borders to beg my forgiveness. And forgive her I did, for I saw naught to be gained from excoriating a girl for her egregious failures. My clemency was met with willful pride. She promised to return the wind to motion single-handedly. Yet, what has come of it? Nothing will save the southern sky set ablaze with a malefic light. The Vestal failed to restore the wind, and brought still greater calamity upon our heads. As proof, look no further than the stagnant air around you. I can but blame my own wishful ignorance for this latest turn of events. I ought never have entrusted this matter to a relic of a bygone era. The Crystal Orthodoxy is a dream of the past, the Vestal obsolete. Her inability to ensure the crystal's function is manifest. Join me, my people! Let us rely upon the Vestal no longer! It is our own efforts that will see this kingdom saved. The labor service is your sacred duty, your pride as citizens. All who work beyond 20 hours a day will receive a royal commendation. And in the wake of this tribulation, Ancheim will emerge a new land. Our new history begins now!
Wait!
What? The Vestal?
Worry no longer, people of Ancheim! I have just awakened the Crystal of Wind!
Lying witch! Then why does the air remain still?
It's true! There's no wind!
The Grand Mill isn't turning!
The king may be right.
Don't be afraid. The footsteps you've carved will be a guide to these people, Agnès. They just need a light to show the way.
A spark of hope. Please, give me the courage. I ask that you listen. The winds that washed over this land without end for so long stopped. A vast darkness split the earth in the kingdom of Kaldisla. An entire village was devoured. The seas fester. Fish wash up upon our shores, twisted and lifeless. Even ships are unsafe from this corrosion. All the world's people, all life is crying out in pain. Your suffering is mirrored in every corner of existence. I was dispatched by His Majesty to leave these borders and survey the damage firsthand. My conclusion is absolutely certain. The 4 crystals have been clouded over with a powerful darkness. On my return, I found the Crystal of Wind in the clutches of a terrible monster. Its influence had sealed away the crystal's light entirely.
Ha! You reward our patience with fabrications and fantasy. Utterly ridiculous.
This is no fantasy! The beast fell before me and my companions! I present this to you as proof!
Those chains! The chains that circled the beast Orthros! The Tempest Braid? That can't... It's only a legend! A story from the old Crystalist scriptures!
But here they are, The Vestals brought us Tempest Braid! Then
Orthros was no legend, and the Vestals slain it!
Preposterous! The chains are fake! Like your ridiculous story! There's still no wind!
The wind is coming! 2,000 years the Vestals have prayed! Their lives have been the crystal's nourishment! And now they feed the wind!
she's right. The wind!
The wind has returned!
The winds are back!
The Grand Mill, it's turning! I've reached them.
Of course you did. And they love you for it. They found new hope in your words.
You were amazing, Agnès! And Vestals are a force for good. That speech struck any doubt from my mind.
Naturally. I knew it from the moment I first saw you.
They're all calling out to you. Go on and answer them.
I don't...
You're a savior to the kingdom, Lady Vestal! A savior to all of us!
And at such a young age, the Vestals are a blessing upon this world!
Forgive us for failing to aid you when the wind stopped. We were lost!
Please, continue to guide the winds and this nation's people. Lead and we will follow. I thank you all, but I fear I cannot stay. The shadow of danger has been driven from Ancheim, but darkness persists elsewhere in the world. I must join with the other Vestals and see that all mankind is ransomed from this terrible threat. That is my duty as a Vestal of the Crystals. It pains me to leave your side again so soon. I ask your patience and your forgiveness.
She grieves not just for Ancheim's pain, but that of all the world.
We thought only of her own misfortunes, but the Vestal...
Lady Vestal! Know that you go with all our prayers. Please help them. Help the others as you've helped us.
Be strong, Lady Vestal!
I thank you. Your faith moves me beyond words. I shall see this task complete and then return to you. I swear.
What perverse farce is this? This cannot be so! I shall not be undone by a child! I am king! King! And a king does not forget his enemies! Ah!
Departing already, Lady Vestal? Forgive me. I am Prime Minister Dominus Harena. Your words to the people shook me to my core. Between you and me, I suspect they rattled the king's cage as well. He looked positively deflated. Small wonder. Having his little speech so thoroughly derailed must have been a blow to his royal ego. It will recover, though. It always does. Meanwhile, where will you go from here?
To Florum, land of radiant flowers and the water crystal.
I see. But how will you manage the journey with seas unnavigable? The inner sea was spared by some merciful stroke of fate, but no port or sandy shore exists on the Florum side. You might travel by land, but the forests along the way are suffused with a noxious fog. The path is most dangerous.
Seems we're blocked on all sides. Any ideas?
No, but the sage of the Yuliana Woods may know some way.
Then it's to the airship and to Juliana and beyond. Say the word, Agnès, and I shall lend wings to your every whim.
Just to Juliana, please.
Hey, it opened!
Seems this is the spot mentioned in that memo we found.
This is the royal palace.
Shh! Someone's coming.
Blast it! Blast it! Blast it all!
Calm down.
How do you expect me to be calm? This is all the fault of that girl! From the moment the Vestal returned, every cog in my plans is spun out of place. And the merchantry! That incompetent profiteur's failures threatened to bring everything crashing down! And after the lengths I went to in giving him all he could possibly need, and for what? A net negative! Time and again, that oil-slicked little rat assured me all was going to plan. And like a fool, I trusted him with everything! With claiming the wells, inflating the price of water, that bungled arrangement with the thieves, I gave the merchantry free rein.
The plan was sound. Have the merchantry cut off the water supply, eroding the people's resolve. Mandate heavy labor, for the good of the kingdom, of course, to sow further dissent. Ancheim was a powder keg. Any spark would do. Some trifling grievance to turn the brunt of all that build-up frustration on the Vestal. The Orthodoxy's lingering hold on the people's hearts and minds would be broken, and the age of anti-crystalism would begin.
As well it must! The unwashed masses' superstitious love of the crystals is an iron weight holding mankind back from true progress. Only by dashing to the ground their faith in these stones and the Vestals can my vision for Ancheim's advancement be realized. A glorious new era is right before our eyes. It was so nearly within reach, and now my plan is ruined. Why, Khint? How has this happened? Now the rabble will listen to none but the Vestal. Oh, it's a complete disaster. I should never have relied on an ignoramus like Profiteur. My plan was perfect.
That reliance on your scheming was the reason it failed. Meanwhile, the Vestal speaks without a thought in her head. There's your why.
The question was rhetorical, Spellfencer! But very well. If finesse has failed, so be it. I'll kill the girl and lay claim to the crystal. With that done, the winds will be at my fingertips. I can power the turbines or control the miasma as I see fit.
Your Highness is ever the optimist. Are you so confident this new plan will fare better, Time Mage?
It must! The people must be shown that the Vestal has no place in my new reign, or in the future of Ancheim!
Unacceptable! Please disgrace your crown no further!
What? This isn't... How are you here?
Regardless, I am here! I heard everything!
Seems this scandal goes all the way up.
I knew you were an unpleasant man, but this is outright evil.
For a king to wish suffering on his own people? This cannot stand!
And just what did you supposedly hear? What new slander is this?
You're a poor actor, King.
You have some proof, then? Some evidence to show that I made these comments? Ha!
He's like a child caught in a lie.
No! Of course no such proof exists! I know you lot are plotting to tear me from the throne, but it won't work! It won't!
As it happens, we do have proof. But I don't expect we'll have need of it. Ask yourself this. Given your word against the Vestals, which do you think the people will believe?
Have you no shame? No sense of duty to those you rule?
You! This is all you're doing, Vestal. If you weren't here, none of this would... Yes! You can't be here any longer. Can't be anywhere, in fact. Your final silence will be the fanfare that heralds my renewed reign.
It seems the man's beyond remorse.
Spell Fencer Sigma Khint, name your price. Empty the kingdom's coffers if you like. Whatever it takes, I want these vermin dead!
I pick my clients for their pocketbooks, not their moral fiber. I'll not grow scruples now. You have a deal, King, for as long as your riches hold.
Crystal's blessing! has only begun!
What? You aren't running this time?
A contract is a contract, and many's the coin I earned under the king's auspices. It's not in my nature, but I'm prepared to die for this one. Very well. Only fitting that money should be my end. My goal is met. I've no reason to earn another coin. No reason.
I see. I regret my failure to see through the former king's misdeeds. It seems the people of Ancheim are once more in your debt, Lady Vestal. On their behalf, I thank you.
Where will the kingdom go from here? How will it function in the absence of its king?
I will take up the mantle of governance for the time being, though that is no lasting solution. Ancheim will have to change. With luck, it will become a land led by its people for the benefit of all. What is certain is that it will ever be a welcome home to you and your companions, Lady Vestal. We will pray for your safe journey. Go, and bring your light to all the world.
I feel guilty simply sitting around like this.
We all need rest, my dear. Whatever we're to face next, let us do it with a full store of energy. Besides, I'm told exhaustion is murder on the skin. Think of your complexion.
My what?
Try to behave, Ring a Bell. You're upsetting the poor girl.
Is that a hint of jealousy I detect? Perhaps it's you who's upset by...
You're hilarious.
I can think of no sadder creature in this world than a man unable to inspire a little jealousy. It is. For now, I need some air. All this riding on the waves is...
Do you suppose he's all right?
Ugh, leave him. A little seasickness will keep him quiet.
Agnès, do you know the other Vestals? In your speech, you mentioned working with them.
It is my hope that such a collaboration can be achieved, but I have yet to meet the Vestals of Earth or Fire. I know only the Water Vestal, Olivia. I have since we were children, as our temples stand in neighboring kingdoms. Since we became Vestals in full, we've exchanged no correspondence, but I fear the rotting of the seas is proof enough that some ill has befallen the water crystal. I pray that Olivia has fared better.
That was fast. Feeling better?
Vestal of the Wind Crystal, Agnès oblige. Surrender at once, or see your companion slain.
You! Dark night alternus dim!
Who? What? Idea? You're all right. We've been mad with worry. But you are a captive to the Vestal no longer. Come, I will see she makes no move. Quickly, to my side. Come away from the Vestal.
No, you keep away from him! If you intend to hurt Agnès or Tiz, you'll answer to me for it.
What? What madness is this? You speak nonsense.
I'm not her captive, and she poses no threat. I'm here of my own free will.
What then? You betrayed the duchy? Betrayed your father? Have you lost your mind, girl?
I'm entirely sane. In fact, there's much I've only begun to see clearly now that I've gone traitor.
No more of this! Edea, bind the Vestal's hands. Do this now, and I'll forget all you've said here. Please.
It seems you've already forgotten. I said no, Alternus.
What new form of torment is this? I cannot bear these games, Edea. Do not do this to me.
Take one step closer to Agnès and I'll do a lot worse. This is my decision. I'll hold nothing back. I may not be able to best you, even so. But I will see that you bleed before I die.
You're certain, then?
I'm certain.
Silencing you would be a simple task. But one slip of my hand and even the flat of my blade would mean your end. I'm a poor hand at holding back.
Then don't bother. I'm not the sort to be cowed by threats, Dim. Perhaps I get that from my father.
I cannot keep this from your father. I ask once more. Will you reconsider?
My mind is set.
Stubborn girl. You're... Very well. I shall withdraw for now. But know this, Vestal. You and your abettors are ever under our watch. What you aim to do runs counter to the flow of progress. You place mankind on the road to annihilation. I'll not allow you to go unchecked. It's time your wheels were clipped.
The Sky Stone!
Cool your head before we next meet, Edea.
Alternus!
Tiz! Are you alright? Tiz!
I'm fine. Sorry I wasn't much use back there. If I'd been more...
You're safe. That is all I ask. Edea! Who was that man? He knew you!
He's a member of the Council of Six, the Duchy of Eternia's highest governing body.
And the 6 people sending an army after Agnès.
Your tone was familiar. You were close?
We grew up together.
Rejoice, jolly companions. I found the loveliest seashells out there. Here, a gift from... Did I miss something?
You really are hopeless, Ring-a-Bell. Well?
No good, I'm afraid. She won't budge an inch off the ground. Seems we're earthbound until we've another one of these sky stone things.
Blast that Alternus! And me for not seeing this coming!
But we can't sit and stew here. Hurry up and do something!
If the ship's grounded, that leaves travel by foot. I suppose we'll have to try our luck with this forest and its miasma.